Hey everybody, it's Allie Edwards, and this is week 26 in my Project Life album for 2024. For this one, I am starting off with some tags that were available in one of our One Little Word mini kits this year. I am also working with vellum pieces from the June Stories by the Month kit. I'm using those as a background behind my tags. I bring my whole project here over to my table after I've printed out the majority of the pictures or whichever pictures I already knew that I wanted. So usually filling in the 4x6 pockets, sometimes I'm filling in the 3x4 pockets. I like to have a unifying element. So in this case, the unifying element are these tags, and I am using a stamp that says Through the Lens. This is part of my big stamp reorganization. So now I have a group of stamps there that are just related to photography. So Through the Lens, I thought that was a good jumping off point or a good prompt to use. I'm also using one of the cards from the June Stories by the Month kit, which says The Story of Life right now. And I am excuse me, cutting out the circle portion, and then I'm going to layer that on top of my photo. So just another way to play around with a journal card there. We'll come back to that in a minute. I am slipping in the vellum pieces, and then the tags, those repeated tags, are going to go on the outside of the page protector there. I'm going to use brads to adhere them or attach them to the outside. Let's see, so here we go. I'm going to adhere that one down, that half circle part, onto the photo itself. I'm going to trim down, and then I'm also going to run that through my sewing machine, so adding a little bit of a yellow stitched frame on there. Then I'm looking through my pattern cards to see what I can place behind my title card, my week 26 title card there. Pulled out, let's see, a vellum piece from the June Stories by the Month, and then I'm stamping the dates using my rolling stamp set there. Slip that guy in the pocket. The tags then are going to tell a variety of different stories as I look at the photos and kind of reflect back on this particular week. Approaching, especially Catch-Up Project Life, doing a bunch of repeated elements just simplifies the entire process for me. And if you've been watching me doing these catch-up pages here recently, this is essentially what I'm doing for each one, is kind of picking one or two things that are the anchor design elements that get repeated over and over again throughout the course of, or throughout my spread here. So I took the tag shapes. The basic formula here is I have a vellum piece behind, then I have a tag shape, then I stamped Through the Lens on there, and then I'm adding my journaling on top, and then I'm using a paper piercer and a gold brad to attach the tag to the outside of the page protector. Simple repetition. I think that takes some of the guesswork out of it once you can just pick a couple items and say, okay, in this one I'm going to use these vellum pieces, I'm going to use this stamp, and I'm going to use these tags to illustrate and support the stories, or support the photos that I have here, and add a little bit of words, add a few words as context to tell a little bit more of the story. So it's not just the photos, but we've got a little bit of journaling going on here as well. I am using a Lumocolor pen on these ones. I've been playing around with these pens. That's a Staedtler Lumocolor permanent pen. This is the fine tip one. I also have the medium tips here. It's been working really well, just another alternative pen. I also like that these ones are permanent, so I can use them on some of my mixed media stuff as well. Doing the underlining there, and then following through on those same steps, which are essentially poking the hole on the outside and then using a gold brad to attach. Again, playing a lot outside of the page protector. These could have been inside. I could have attached them to the vellum backgrounds there, so that's totally something that you could do. I kind of just like the idea of having them on the outside of the page protector and then being able to flip them up either to reveal the vellum underneath or to reveal a photo underneath on the bottom tag, and you'll see that in a minute in my 3x4 picture. I am really loving the process of just working through these Project Life spreads, picking out a few photos as an overview for my week, really kind of loosening up my creative muscles as I work through these, and not worrying about any of it being perfect. right? I am somebody that in my design choices likes to create constraints for myself because I feel like that helps in the creative process. It also helps me get stories told and get things done by not looking at all of the different things I have available to me and not feeling like each pocket needs to be its own individual thing. Instead, I can just have a nice repeated system here. So I really liked how I did the half circle, how I cut that card out, the story of life right now, up on that first page. So I'm looking through my pattern 4x6 journal cards and seeing if there's one that I could use to repeat that same idea of the partial circle cut out to reveal the photo. So I'm just kind of flipping through here. I'm looking a little bit at color because I kind of have a color scheme going, especially with the tags there. So I pulled out a few that were kind of in that warm color family and decided to use the Take Good Care card. That would have been from the Care Story Kit a while ago. I had kept the white portion of the journal card that I had cut out on that 4x6, the story of right now. So I'm using that as a template to cut out the Take Good Care. I think that I did reprint my picture because the one on the top didn't have a white border and I wanted this one to be the same. In the original photo that I had printed out of the front porch had a white border on it. So I reprinted that without the white border. I ran it through the sewing machine so that it would mimic the same design style that I did on that top pocket. And then I'm going ahead and adding some gold puffy number stickers onto the tags just to add, excuse me, a little bit of something else on there. And I like numbering things. I've added numbers on a few different spreads here recently that you will see in the coming up weeks. And then on this one, I decided to add a few chipboard pieces. I've been in and out of my chipboard stash a lot recently, and so I'm reminded of how fun those different chipboard pieces can be. I organize mine by shape in embroidery floss boxes, and I'm pretty sure I have a video here on YouTube and on the blog for organizing chipboard. And then if you're interested in seeing more about that, you can check out my stash class. But here I'm adding on a couple different chipboard pieces. Those three there are the same shape, so they're each a rectangle shape, and I'm just kind of placing them in corners on my photos. And then I have another one on the bottom there that's going to be a different shape. It's the one that says Make It Happen. So playing around a little bit there. I did want to add something onto the Take Good Care card, so I grabbed a label sticker and I'm going to trim off a little bit along the edge just to add in a little bit about why did I take this picture. So this is essentially just saying, yes, the jasmine is in full bloom in my front yard, and I love when that happens. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I got a lot of favorite times of the year around here, and this project is something that can tell all of those stories. All right, as always, let me know if you guys have questions in the comments below, and we'll see you back here again soon.